पीपीटी कोणी पीपीटी कोणी कोणी प्रिपेअर.
हॅलो मॅम, आवाज येत नाही तुमचा. हॅलो मॅम.
येस. कोणाचं पीपीटी प्रिपेअर आहे गर्ल्स मध्ये? 42 नंबर. तुमचं पीपीटी प्रिपेअर नाहीये का?
हा मॅम.
उद्या प्रिपेअर करायची पीपीटी ज्यांनी कोणी आज शेअर केली नाही त्यांनी.
हा येस मॅम, उद्या नक्की करतो.
हा 55 नंबर. 55 नंबर. आर यू देअर?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have prepared?
No, ma'am.
Why? तुम्हाला सांगितलं होतं ना अगोदर मी प्रिपेअर करायला सगळ्यांना. जे कोण सेमिनार शेअर करणार नाहीत त्यांना 0 मार्क्स भेटतील बरं का. नेक्स्ट कोण आहे का ज्यांना कोणाला स्क्रीन शेअर करायची आहे, पीपीटी शेअर करायची आहे? कल्याणी गाडवे 72 नंबर.
येस मॅम.
You have prepared seminar?
हा येस मॅम.
ओके. ज्यांनी कोणी पीपीटी केलेली आहे त्यांनी आता शेअर करा. तुमच्या ग्रुपमध्ये कोण कोण आहे?
71, 72 आणि 73.
71, 72 and 73. ओके, शेअर करा. For 1 minute. पोस्ट कोणाला करायचं?
71 ला मॅम.
71 ला का?
हा.
हा. Okay, you can share your screen. सुषमा? सुषमा? Sargar?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, share your screen.
Yes ma'am. Visible?
मॅम 66 रोल नंबर पण आहे.
Yes, screen is visible.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Myself Sushma Sargar from Severis College of Pharmacy, Pandharpur. Today's seminar on a subject of pharmaceutical engineering. The topic name is mixing and presented by Sushma Sargar, Kalyani Gadve, Srushti Madke and Pooja Salgar. Mixing. In mixing we see
सगळ्यांचे तुमचे.
roll number 71 Sushma Sargar, roll number 72 Kalyani Gadve, roll number 73 Srushti Madke, Roll number 66, Pooja Salgar. In
Okay,
mixing,
continue.
yes, ma'am. In mixing, we can see define types, applications, factors affecting on mixing, mechanism of solid liquid mixing, double cone blender. Mixing. Define. Mixing is defined as a process in which two or more components within a system converted into one mass or a mixture. Mm, Types of a mixture. There are three types of mixture. First one is positive mixtures. Second, negative mixtures. Third, neutral mixture. In positive mixtures, these are prepared by mixing of immiscible liquids. The negative mixtures, these mixtures are prepared by mixing insoluble solids in a vehicle in case of a suspension or by mixing two miscible. Neutrals, neutral mixture. Some products such as a paste, ointments, etc., do not mix spontaneously, but after mixing they do not separate out easily. Application of a mixing. Mixing is intermediate step in production of a tablet or capsule. Dry mixing of a material or for direct compression into tablets. Dry mixing of a powder and composite powders in capsules. Blending of a powders are also important in preparation of a cosmetic product such as a facial powder or a dental powder. In case of a potent drugs where dose is low, mixing is critical factor. Otherwise, it will affect the content uniformity of tablet. Next part is forward to Kalyani Gadvi.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Next point is factor affecting on mixing. First, nature of surface. Rough surface of one or more component does not produce satisfactory mixing. Second, density of particles. Demixing observed when density of small particles is higher or when mixing process is stopped. Next, particle size. It is easy to mix powders of same particle size. Variation in particle size leads improper mixing. Powders with particle size less than 100 micrometer are flip-hoving, which improve the mixing. Next, particle shape. The particle should be spherical to achieve uniform mixing. Particle charge. Some particles exert attractive forces due to electrostatic charge on them, which leads to separation. Proportion of material. It is easy to mix powders if available in equal quantities. If there is large difference in preparation of two powders, mixing is always done in ascending order of their weights. Then difference between of liquid mixing and solid mixing. In liquid mixing, flow current are possible. In solid mixing, flow current are not possible. In liquid mixing, small sample size is sufficient. In solid mixing, large sample size is required. In liquid mixing, mixing requires low power, and in solid mixing, mixing requires high power. Then next point I forwarded to Srushti.
Hello ma'am, good afternoon and good afternoon to everyone. Now I am going to explain mechanism of mixing in a solid. In this first point is convective mixing. Convective or a screw element. Second, a larger mass of material moves from one part to another. Convective mixing is also referred as a micro mixing. Second point is a shear mixing. In this type, the forces of attraction on its own between region of different composition and parallel to their surface. In particulate mass, the forces of attraction are predominating, which make the layer slip over one another. Such type of attraction forces are predominant among and reduce the scale of segregation. Next slide. Third point is diffusive mixing. It involves the random motion of particle within the powder bed. Thereby, particles change their position relative to one another. Diffusing mixing occurs at the interface of dissimilar region. diffusive mixing, sometimes referred as the micro mixing. The motion of particles to achieve random distribution assume that no other factor influences the distribution. This is rarely the case. Instead, a number of properties of the powder influence the approach to randomness. Flow characteristics of powder largely determine the ease with which the primary particles can be mixed. Next slide. Classification of equipment for solid mixing. It is based on the flow properties of the powder. Appropriate mixture should be selected. First, free flowing solid, in which first we can use the V cone blender and double cone blender. And the next one is cohesive solid, in which we are going to use the planetary mixer and the sigma blender. Next point I am going to forward to the Pooja.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Pooja Salgar, studied second year B Farm, and today my seminar topic is double clone bender. It is usually charged and discharged through the same part. Efficient design for mixing powder of different density. Rate of rotation should be optimum depending on the size and shape of tumble nature of material to be mixed. Commonly, the range is 30 to 100 revolution per minute. Next slide. See the double clone bender shell and shaft drive. Shell is rotating around the shaft. Next slide. Advantage and disadvantage of double clone bender. Advantages: if privileged granule are to be blended, twin shell blend is suitable minimum attrition. Next, they handle large capacity. Third point, easy to clean, load, upload. Fourth, this equipment required minimum maintenance. Disadvantages: first point, required high for installation, and second point, not suitable space for fine particle system. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, ma'am, give for this opportunity.
Okay, who is next? Who want to give the seminar? Oh, 5960 roll number.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
PPT प्रिपेअर आहे का तुमची?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, करा मग शेअर.
Okay, ma'am. 55 ला होस्ट करा.
हा 55 ला होस्ट करा. तुमचे रोल नंबर सांगा ग्रुप मधले.
55, 59 आणि 60.
ठीक आहे.
Hello, ma'am.
येस.
59 ला होस्ट करा, ma'am.
हा 59 ला होस्ट करा.
मॅम 55 ला केलं होतं त्यांना सांगा पोस्ट करायला.
हा रोल नंबर 55. मेक होस्ट 59 नंबर.
केलं, ma'am.
ठीक आहे. You can start your seminar. Okay, 59 number. What is the problem 15 number? I think 59 number is left now. Roll number 60. अंबिका.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके लेफ्ट काय झालं ते बघा. पोस्ट कोणाला करायची मग?
मॅम थांबा मी बघते.
ऍडमिट झालेत ठीक आहे. करते मी होस्ट.
ओके मॅम.
ठीक आहे 59 नंबर स्क्रीन शेअर करा.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Today's presentation topic name is mixing, presented by Swapna Lingole, Rutuja Misal, me myself, Ambika Jadhav, under the guidance of Toraskar, ma'am. Mixing is defined as the process that tends to result in randomization of dissimilar particles within a system. Mix means to put together in one mass through diffusion or the constituent element of one another. Applications of mixing first involved in many type of formulation. Second, it is intermediate stage in production of several dosage form. Third, wet mixing in granulation for tablet and capsules. Fourth, dry mixing of ingredient for direct comparison in tablet. Fifth, dry blending in capsule, dry syrup powders. Six is the production of pellets and capsule. Factor affecting on mixing: first, nature of surface; second, density of particles; third, particle size; fourth, particle shape; fifth, particle change; sixth is preparation of material. Now I will forward it to Swapnali.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I explain in pointer mechanism of mixing in solid. First, convective mixing, shear mixing. Second, third, diffusive mixing. Next slide. Mechanism of liquid mixing. First, bulk transport. Second, turbulent mixing. Third, laminar mixing. Fourth, molecular diffuse. A mechanism of semi-solid mixing. First, double cone blender. Second, twin cell blender or V-cone blender. Third, ribbon blender. Next up, sigma blade mixing principle. The mechanism of mixing is sharing. The intermixing at sigma shaped blender creates a high shear and loading active. Convective mixing is achieved by cascading materials. Uses: first, from mixing of double ingredients in the baking industry. Second, use in wet granules process in the manufacture of tablets, film mask, and ointment. Next, I will forward to Rutuja.
Palentary mixture principle. In palentary mixture, the bladder treat the mass apart and share in a applied between moving bladder and a stationary wall. The mixing are moved into the two ways around its own axis and around central axis. So at each it reach every spot of the vessel. The plates in a blade are the float and that particle powder makes the upward movement. Although the turbulent convecting move also obtain uses the produce price blades at addition of breakdown of algylometers, the low speed for the dry blending and faster speed for the cleaning action required in a wet granulation. Propellers, it contain the number of blades. 3 blades design is most common for the liquids. It's similar to the blades like table fan and the ceiling fan. The 4 blade and 4 blades are used for the special purpose. They work in opposite direction to create zone of the high turbulence. The size of propellant is small. Uh, uses when high mixing capacity is needed for the liquid having a maximum viscosity 0.2 pascal second. um, the can this can used up to the 3.5 meter cubes. The multivitamins elixir disinfectant solution, uh, they are used. Turbulence. The turbulent consists of the circular disc to which a number of short blades are attached. The diameter of turbulent range from 30 to 50 of diameter of vessels. It rotates the lower speed than propeller. The blade may be the straight, curve, and the vertical. And the uses are effective for high viscous solution. Viscosity range up to the 7,000 Pascal. Example, syrup, liquid, paraffin, and glycerin. They handle two syringes with 60 solids suitable for the liquid of large volume and high viscosity if take tank blade preferred. Thank you. Paddles. A paddle consists of tube central with a two long flat bladder attached to it vertical, and the uses are manufacturing of antacid, suspension, agar, and pectin. Thank you, ma'am.
ठीक आहे, मला मस्त करा आता.